Back to the wealthXproject channel, everyone. My name is Michael and today is Amazon FBA Wednesday. So what we are going to discuss today is how to get started with Amazon FBA. And there are a few very important things I want to talk about. So let's get started. So number one is you are going to need to designate some time to learn and to do Amazon FBA. I think if you only have an hour a day, that's fine, you can start, but preferably you would want to do this 2 hours, 3 hours a day, because at the beginning there is going to be a lot more to get started, to get involved with, and the things you will need to do. So if you haven't checked out my last 3 videos on Amazon FBA, now is the time to do this, because in these videos I am discussing the Amazon FBA workflow in quite some detail, and this will give you a very good overview and understanding of the steps required. So make sure to check out that video. It's going to be displayed somewhere on the screen, and then go back and rewatch this video. Okay, so once you designate some time, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day, you need to set your budget. So you need to think about how much money are you willing to invest in Amazon FBA to turn it into something bigger. Now, it used to be that we could start with £500 if you are in the UK, or 500 US dollars, and you can still find these products from time to time. But the reality is, by the time you get a quote and you get the quote for the product and shipping, it's probably going to work out a little bit more expensive. Plus, if it's only 500 that you have for your Amazon FBA startup, then what that's going to mean is you are going to probably look for a cheaper product to sell on Amazon. Now, what this is going to do in turn is it's going to kind of cut your profits, basically, because by definition it's going to be a cheaper product, which means there is going to be less profit in it. So what I suggest these days is to start with at least 1,500 to 2,000 pounds at least, and then obviously if you have a higher budget, then you would be able to micro launch a few products in parallel, check which one picks up on Amazon, and then go with this one and kind of scale from there. So super important to understand. Okay, and that brings me to the point number 3, which is mindset. And mindset is super extremely important, simply because if you don't have your goals set right, if you don't know where you are going, it's going to be extremely difficult to hit the target. And it's not only about Amazon goals, it's also about your life goals and all pretty much goals in every other area. Okay, the next thing you need to set right in terms of your mindset is your expectations. If you are trying to become a millionaire overnight, or even in 3 or 5 months on Amazon, then it is probably not going to happen. Okay, I'm not saying it won't, but the probability of that happening is very little. Why is that? Well, first of all, you don't have any experience. You are just starting on Amazon right now, and you need to kind of get in the flow, see how it works, see what to do, see what not to do, make some of your own mistakes, and then learn from them. That's a process. It takes time. Okay, and it also takes commitment, and commitment is like extremely important thing in terms of the mindset, because if you don't commit to it, then you're not gonna do product discovery consistently. You're not gonna check out these emails and messages from suppliers, and you're not gonna do the marketing required to launch a product on Amazon FBA. So the commitment is super important, and what it also means is that you commit a certain time every single day, and that time is fixed to do your Amazon FBA, to do your learning, to do everything you need to do in terms of Amazon FBA. And the next thing is the organization and workflow. So I'm not going to talk about a lot about this, simply because I've discussed this in quite a detail in those previous 3 videos. So make sure to check this out and check these steps required. And you need to have some kind of management system, some kind of workflow, because it's okay if you're just launching one product, but then as you grow and scale, and you are adding virtual assistants, etc., then it's going to be extremely difficult to actually track your workflow, track what's going on with the products, etc. So you need to have some kind of workflow. I'm using personally Trello to manage my life, to manage and organize my businesses and team. So that's what I suggest. It's free to use, nothing wrong with it. Okay. Now, the biggest thing is persistence, because what you need to ask yourself is, okay, what if my first product fails? Okay, am I ready for it? Am I going to draw conclusions and push forward? Because if you are not ready for it, then maybe it's just not for you. So have a think about this, okay? And also what the next element is to master the attitude. And I actually talk about this a lot in my book. Okay, on page 50, the book is called Success in the Pill, and if you are interested in reading the book, which I highly recommend, it's available on Amazon or a Kindle edition, and I will include this link below the video as well. It will actually take you through your mindset. It will help you set goals. It will help you set this attitude and all these elements that are required to launch a successful Amazon business. And trust me, mindset is more important than the skill itself. Okay, and that is the biggest difference that I have found actually between the successful students and unsuccessful students, because how important it is to set goals. Okay, well, turns out it's super important. So I highly recommend to get this book on Amazon. And page number 50, I'm talking about, I'm not sure if you're gonna see, I'm talking about the quitter, stressor, and master attitude. Okay, and you really want to develop the master attitude in order to push forward with your business. Now, once you have the first three elements in place, now is the time to get the software, because if you are trying to do this manually, find that first product, assess it, compare it with the competitors, etc., then it's absolutely insane. It's going to take you 10 times more time. It's going to take you absolutely immense amount of effort, which would basically otherwise be better spent on actually analyzing these products. So my favorite software, which I'm using every day to run my own Amazon FBA business, is called Zonebase. And again, my students get 50% off, but you can check out the website and you can get the package you want. Okay, there are 4 types of softwares on the market, but basically I favor Zonebase simply because of its interface and some of its features that I personally very like above all the competitors, and I've used all of these softwares before, so I know what I'm talking about. So you need to trust me on that. Okay, but make your own decisions. Now, once you've got the software, you need to also sort out your know-how, because if you don't know what you are doing, if you don't know what kind of search criteria to use, what kind of profitability, how to work out that profitability, how to assess the product, how to compare the product to competitors, how to do market research, how to create irresistible offer for your product, then your product is probably going to fail. Okay, so you need to get the know-how, and the way to do this is you can go the structured on unstructured way. Now, when I was starting, I was deeply in debt, so I had to do this myself, learned from YouTube, and basically just get this information, kind of get pieces of information here, get pieces of information here, and then try and judge myself what's right, what's wrong, because there is a lot of misleading information, there is a lot of outdated information, because Amazon evolves every single year. So you need to be able to do these distinctions if you are going to do this way. Now, right now, there are some good courses, including the live Amazon Bootcamp, which I'm running right now. It doesn't break your budget. You can pay monthly for it, and it's going to get you through a staged, structured, step-by-step way. Okay, so it will tell you exactly what to do, when to do, and in what order. You don't have to go through the entire thing. You just need to go through step number 1, module number 1, do the actions, take the actions, do the homework, then module number 2, and so on and so on. By the time you go through the course, you are done, you have your product selling on Amazon. So highly recommend it if you can. do this, or just find another mentor or teacher that has done it, been there, has experience, has made a lot of mistakes, because obviously you want to avoid as many of these mistakes as possible. That's why these courses are so valuable, and there is so many of them right now out there. So what you need to do is you need to find a teacher that you like, that you trust, and that you want to work with, and also make sure there is a good support group, because without support it's going to be very, very difficult if you have those questions and you want to ask them and you want to work with your mentor or teacher. So make sure you select your course right. Okay, and again, if you are interested in the live bootcamp I'm doing right now, that's July 2022, then you can check out the link that is displayed below the video. Now let's move on. Follow the blueprint, guys. Okay, if you don't follow the blueprint, if you take shortcuts, if you deviate from the formula that someone has worked out over the years, then it's not going to work out. And I can see in amongst my students even, people who are successful are people who follow the blueprint, who follow the formula down to a single point, okay, and down to a single small action. Now, those who try to take shortcuts, okay, how important could be the irresistible formula for my product, okay? Those who take shortcuts, those who skip the steps, they just don't get there, okay? And it's their fault. It's not the teacher's fault. It's not the course fault. It's got them their fault because they didn't take all the steps necessary. So follow the blueprint should you decide to use a structured method, okay? And follow it down to the point and employ the mindset, because guys, if you first don't get this in place, that's where my books comes, then even if you launch this product, even if you start making money, if you don't have your wealth thermostat set right, then it is going to start cooling you down, okay? And you're gonna get to the place where you don't really want to be. And I know, because I've been there and I know how these things work. So with the bootcamp, I've just recently decided to give my students the access to the first 3 weeks of wealthXproject, wealthX blueprint videos, which is all about setting these mindset goals, actions, taking so small actions to actually upgrade your mindset, get rid of the limiting programming, and move on so they are actually ready to achieve success on Amazon. Okay, so make sure to check it out if you are interested. And like I said, the biggest difference between the successful and non-successful people, unsuccessful students, is the mindset and following the blueprint down to the point. Okay, that's it, guys. The knowledge, yes, it's very important, but it's not everything. If you just learn the skill without the mindset, it's not gonna work out. Trust me on that, I've been there. Okay, so anyway, if you like this content and if you would like to see more of this content on that channel, then make sure to smash that like button, subscribe not to miss any future videos, and like I said, I will post the link to the bootcamp and to my book below this video. And other than that,